Hey everybody, welcome to Shifty's Club. Well, guys, I'm a little sorry about how long it took for this. As you can see, I am in a arm cast. Hang on one second. So yeah, oof, it hurts, bitch. But I finally got permission to get out of bed by the doctor. I should have just stayed in bed. It feels a lot better when I'm laying down, dude. This pain feels awful. But you guys aren't here to hear about my pain. You guys are here to hear about Pokemon. Because it's very hard for me to operate a computer with one hand. I have to find some way to get this thing uploaded, especially since the webcam, I can't screw it on with the one hand. So it took me 3 days to find someone who's actually willing to screw in the webcam into the tripod. And I might even use it at the state championship. I don't know. I just have to see how things go. I might just have to buy a regular camera because it's too much of a hassle for me to try to screw it and then unscrew it. I mean, all pun set aside. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do that with my left arm. Anyway, we're going to talk about, since today's Sunday, we're going to talk about a rogue concept. Now, today's concept might not be as rogue as most people think it is, but nobody's playing it. Absolutely nobody has it in their decks. And that is Primal Kyogre-EX. Primal Kyogre-EX is getting absolutely no love from the competition, seeing literally no play in league championships across the entire US. I mean, there are maybe 1 or 2 players in the entire country who's been to state championships who actually played this concept. But I just don't know why people aren't trying to play it. I mean, I understand it's not a tournament winning deck, but I mean, it can still get you enough championship points to get into worlds. Probably get top you 16, get you top 8. I keep forgetting there's no more top 16. It could probably top you to 16 if we had it now, but because we don't, it might get you top 8 if you play perfectly enough. But let's talk about what's inside the deck. First, Primal Kyogre-EX. For 4 energy, does 150 and 30 to each bench Pokemon EX. Drawback, you move 2 energy to the bench, but this isn't really a drawback at all. What happens here is that you have another Primal Kyogre on the receiving end, or even Keldeo-EX. Now, that's the other Pokemon that I'm going to get to, Keldeo-EX. Keldeo-EX and Floatstone are arguably one of the most deadly strategies in Pokemon, because it can pretty much take into every non-Carpador deck out there. And because of Keldeo Floatstone, too many times have people gotten out of situations that literally seem impossible to get out of. Special conditions, effects that apply to the defending Pokemon on the next turn. So many different things actually are not applicable anymore because of the Floatstone and Keldeo being able to rush in and free retreat immediately. It's just like saying, okay, I'm going to take this Pokemon, put it on the bench, and bring another one up. So how does this really play out? Well, because Primal Kyogre has this, I want to call it a Greek ability, because it's not really an ability. We're going to call it Greek abilities. Yeah, Kyogre's a great Pokemon. Its Greek ability, though, basically lets you attach 2 energy at the same time instead of 1 whenever you go to attach. So being able to attach 2 water at a time to Kyogre really does help what you do. Being able to consistently do that 150 over and over and over is a great sign. But there's a way that you can even do this with literally no effort. Combine this strategy with 2 Primal Kyogres. You have 1 attacking, 1 on the bench, maybe another in reserve, with Max Potion, okay, an Energy Retrieval. That is a solid strategy. And if they cannot knock out Primal Kyogre in one hit, and chances are they are not, then you could literally keep a combo going with 4 energy retrieval, 4 max potion. You would be able to continuously keep this going. Now, if you even have a reserve on your bench, you could totally pull this off. If you have a reserve, you could play the Scoop Up Cyclone and try to play it back down with a Spirit Link. There's so many different ways that I've done this. The best way, though, was the Primal Kyogre line. I did run Archie's Ace in the Hole. I did run that card. And basically, I took a Primal Kyogre-EX, played it with Keldeo-EX. I did Tekken, Empoleon, and Greninja for obvious reasons. The reason I had taken Blastoise is because, well, Primal Kyogre already allows you to attach 2 per turn and moves the energy instead of discarding it. So if it gets knocked out, it's only losing 2 energy and 2 of it's on the bench. And that's the thing I like best about it. And when I tested, I didn't really need Blastoise. Blastoise was just getting in the way. So I opted out of Blastoise, and I originally didn't have Kyogre-EX, but I ended up switching Blastoise out for Kyogre-EX and throwing in the Kyogre Spirit Link, finding out that Archie's Ace in the Hole is not as easy to get into as I thought it would be. I thought with enough help from cards like Maintenance, Oracle, Bicycle, Ultra Ball, Battle Compression, all this great crap, I thought, man, this is good. It'd be no shot to be able to get this off. But I had to down my supporter count. There's several trainers that I absolutely had to minimize and others that I had to up just to get to that point to where Archie's Ace in the Hole would be the last card in my hand. And it became so inconsistent. So I decided, you know what? I'm not going with it. I'm just going to go ahead and play Kyogre-EX, and it's not going to lose any consistency whatsoever. But anyway, it's basically Kyogre. Then you have Keldeo-EX, Greninja, and Empoleon. Nothing but water energy, obviously. You have a very weird supporter count in this deck. Now, Hear Me Out, in Juniper, and Colress, obviously, are probably your few supporters that you always use. There's no way that you're ever not going to use these. The one thing that was hard for me to do was to play Jirachi and Skyless. And that was actually real hard for me to do because I wanted Dive Ball to be my main feature. And I said, you know what? I might be able to run Ultra Ball, but then again, I wanted 4 Dive Ball, so I opted out of Jirachi. I still have the Skyla, but I opted out of Jirachi. I played 4 Dive Ball, really nothing else that would that really have any impact. But Jirachi's about the only impact Pokemon that I took out. Then your support count keeps going, like I said, in Juniper, Colress, or for me it's in Sycamore, Colress, because I really don't want to have to swap out Juniper after it rotates out. But anyway, then your trainer counts Archie's Ace in the Hole. You obviously use that. Another card that most people don't know about using that much, and I really do like it. It's a great card. I mean, gives you literally no trouble in this deck. That card is Cassius. Now, Cassius is not a favorite card at all. Cassius is one of the cards that nobody really pays attention to. And my favorite thing about Cassius is that you can take a Pokemon, shuffle it in your deck. Now, how would this work at all? Well, I'm glad you said. Sometimes Keldeo gets stuck, and you have to find a way to pretty much get all the damage counters off of him. Or maybe Primal Kyogre can't get a max potion on, or maybe you can't find another one of your resources to I mean, there's plenty of resources in the deck, but Cassius is one of them that just allows you to basically shuffle a Pokemon into your deck, all cards attached to it and everything. But trust me, I have a 4/4 Kyogre line, so I'm not going to run short on Kyogre at all. I mean, in order to provide enough room, I have to have 2 or 3 down at the same time, and it's not hard to get all of them down. It's really not, because all I do is draw into them. My Sycamore count is low. I don't know why people keep doubting me for my Sycamore count. My Colress is high. Colress is at a 3, but you got to keep in mind that you were running tons of Pokemon. You're running dive balls. You run the repeat ball, which everybody is questioning why you even run repeat ball. And I tell them I only run 2 Pokemon in the deck. I was like, it's just 4 Keldeo and 4 Primal Kyogre. Everything else, or sorry, yeah, you know what I mean, and 4 Kyogre-EX, the only basic Pokemon I have. Everything else has to get out with Archie's Ace in the hole, which is only a Greninja and an Empoleon. So, and why do I stick with this low count? Well, I have to have room for all the trainer cards that I'm going to need in order to set up the strategy. And I do use, I did opt out of Scope Up Cyclone. I figured Cassius, via Secret Cassius would probably be a better option anyway, because most of those times I'm not even going to need a draw supporter if I've got my setup. I wouldn't need it. All I'd have to have was the energy cards, necessary attachments and everything, and it would end up working very well. And another really weird thing here was that I found out that Srasik was a little better than Team Flaregrind. And the reason I say that is because sometimes I just absolutely have to choose a Pokemon tool over an energy. Like, say that, and here's the whole reason why behind. I did not want to play Startling Megaphone, but I do run it. And I thought that would just be enough. But it seems like Srasik is a little better at getting this off, because if I discard it, it's gone. If I discard Srasik, I can still get it back with one of my 4 VS Seeker. And basically, play VS Seeker, play it down, and the hardest card for me to deal with that I can get rid of, G Booster. Yeah. And there's several reasons behind this. I mean, first off, or sorry, not G, yeah, G Booster. Now, there are several people who are like, well, they're never going to run G Booster against a water type deck. Well, you would be surprised. A lot of people tried Muscle Band, but the more and more I played against decks with Muscle Band, the harder it was for them to really win because they couldn't keep up the exchange. Every Pokemon that I took out was basically a Genesect. I kept pulling up the Genesect with Lysander. Once I get that matchup, Lysander's in the discard pile, VS Seekers are flying, Genesects are flying up and getting knocked out, forcing them to pull up Virizion, which has one binky attack and max 70 damage times 2 is 140. There's no way they're going to knock you out. So they had to find some way to make the exchange. And that was basically one of the few things that I was able to do with against grass. Is I upped my Lysander count in order to deal with Genesect. And I am no longer fearing G Booster, but there is, let's just say, nobody likes Muscle Band or Floatstone in this format if you're playing against it. But G boosters were really the one reason why I first stuck with Srosik over Team Flare Grunt, because I played, I think it was 4 Rizzion Genesect out of 20 matches online, and I don't see how that deck is still running strong. I mean, you've pretty much lost your Skynero Bridge, so now you have to force yourself to run something like Keldeo Floatstone, and that requires that with Muscle Band. There's just so much that you lose, and it, it definitely, I really can't see how they do it. But let's go ahead and get to the trainer count. Sorry, guys, I'm taking way too long. Anyway, your stadium count is, I'm not gonna say it's not obvious, but I'm sure everybody's tried Rough Seas. Everybody wants to play Primal Kyogre. They automatically think Rough Seas. I'm not. How often are you ever gonna have to heal 30 damage from each of your Pokemon? Unless you have Reuniclus, which is an extended format Pokemon, you are not moving around damage counters. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You're just not going to do it. And if you're playing against Dusknoir, they're going to use the damage counters to knock you out. You're not even going to get a chance to heal them off. So it's really pointless to me to play Rough Seas. Now there's several different cards that you can use here. One that I thought of for the Rizzion Genesect matchup to force them to play the G booster in order to get a one-hit knockout was a Training Center, but then it got me to thinking that Primal Kyogre is the only Pokemon who is going to be able to make advantage of this. That Greninja and Empoleon can't take advantage of this because they're thrown onto the bench without a basic stage 1 under them, so they can't take any part of this. But I also tested out with Mountain Ring. Mountain Ring proved to be pretty good against Virizion. And most of my bad matchups are Virizion Genesect matchups. Other than that, it really didn't provide too much of help. Or not Virizion, but Genesect, yeah. Genesect doing that 100 plus 20, because I absolutely hate when they do that. They add that 20 on there. Oh my god. And they hit enough times for 20 here, 20 here, 20 everywhere. You know, Old McDonald had a farm full of freaking Genesect. E-I-E-I-O. But it's pretty much, I had to think, what would be the absolute best way for me to solve, any particular problem in this deck? Burbank is not an option because I'm hitting for 150 freaking damage with a possible Greninja drop in 30. I am not going to one time ever think about running Muscle Band. I mean, because Pokemon EX are the only ones with high amounts of HP, and you can be dropping 30 on each of their benched EX Pokemon. So after that, Greninja really not even necessary after that first hit. And that's where Keldeo comes in. Because, Keldeo is starting to set up, or even Kyogre's hits one time up front, but it starts to get, you start to get real into the game. You figure out, okay, I've played this matchup, what seems to be the best supporter possible? And I've tried and tried and tried. I mean, I cannot find one perfect stadium to go in this deck. It's just never going to happen. So I decided, you know what? I have to run a counter stadium because I am not letting Primal Kyogre get knocked out on turn 2 by decks that usually knock EX out on turn 2. They just have enough extra damage left over. and I'm not going to let it happen. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to run Mountain Ring. Prevent that bench damage. Just anything that could possibly work. And I said, you know what? That's what I'm running. And then I started looking at my trainer count, and I was like, I run dive ball instead of ultra ball. I run and I know this one's gonna sound bizarre. I run a weakness policy tech, for those Rizzy Genesect matchups. The same reason I do run Tool Retriever, because when I play Cassius or when I play Super Scoop Up, I don't want to have to. Well, Cassius is really the only one. Play Cassius, I'm not losing that Kyogre Spirit Link. I'm going to dive. I'm going to dive ball for my Kyogre or have a Kyogre on the bench. Pretty much Cassius. Have it in my hand beforehand. Attach it. Dive ball for the Primal Kyogre. Boom. So, that's pretty much the idea of that particular combo. Anyway, the deck runs like gold. The only problems I have are Virizion Genesect matchups. Sometimes if a Garbodor deck sets up fast enough, not Garbodor, Seismitoad sets up fast enough, sometimes you just cannot beat it. And that's why I had to turn to Sarasic so many times. And I thought Team Flare Run is great, but even in this situation, I'm not one who has to run Trainer card in this deck. I don't, because Primal Kyogre can evolve without a Spirit Link. Keldeo can get out and can work without a Float Stone. He just can't. And besides, you run 4 freaking Float Stone, you're not running out of float. You're gonna run. You're gonna be able to hit it turn 1. And probably one of the other cards in this deck that works as a viable tech. And hear me out. This is probably one of the, I'm not gonna say most least thought of techs, but it does work. And I'm just gonna go ahead out and say it. You can think whatever you want of me. I'm not the most popular person in the world, and I probably never will be. But guys, what do you think of? And I know I'm just rambling on for absolutely no particular reason whatsoever. But what do you guys think of the Oh my god. How about I just explain what it does? I can't even think of the name. That's sad. I can't think of the name. And it's anyway, I only play one of them in the deck, and it's basically you play it and you just take 60 damage off, and it's a supporter. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, it's a tech, and the only reason I ever put that in there was for Manectric matchups. Now, hear me out. Manectric might not be the best in the world, but here's pretty much how I foresee things. With Manectric in a Verbank, you have hitting for 110 damage, plus 30, come back around plus 30, do 110, plus 30. That's 210 plus 90 is 310 damage. Okay, probably not the best in the world, but what I'm trying to prevent is that knockout straight up. Now, Keldeo is going to be one of the few Pokemon that cannot stand up to this going into the turn. 110 plus 30 plus 30 to get back around and get that knockout. So force them to have to hit again for the knockout on Keldeo, which instead of just letting poison take its course. And I've done this numerous amount of times to give myself an extra turn to set up some more water, so another Primal Kyogre or something, or to set up an extra Keldeo with Float Stone. Um, and this one tech, I know people probably don't even think about running this card, but it really has helped a lot. And pretty much Manectric was the only matchup that ever needed this for, so I only played one. Discard it, get it back with VS Seeker. Several times that I've had to actually opt for this strategy. But anyway, that's beyond the point. So guys, I'm not going to keep you here any much longer. But yeah, that's pretty much Primal Kyogre for you in a nutshell. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, post in the comment section down below. You guys know the drill. And as always, I hope you guys had as much fun as I had, and I'll see you guys next time. How is this going to work? Ed, shape these guys? Yeah, I just totally did not think this through. You guys know what was meant to be in front. Turn the chair. Oh, what the heck?